Hi, and welcome to my first ever podcast episode of Swell Shenanigans. I am your host, Amanda, but you can call me Swell. And this podcast is quite literally a work in progress. Who truly knows what it's going to be a week from now or a month from now? But what I know that today, what we're talking about is some social media people and the shenanigans that they seem to be up to. And my guest today is my friend Jordan, who is quite literally the opposite of online in that she is allergic to anything relating to social
I'm
media
the
content.
opposite of terminally online.
Yes. So she hears about things in passing and then calls me immediately to have me explain them to her, which is quite literally what today's episode is going to be.
This past week, I have asked Amanda a million questions, and usually she'll answer them, in a timely fashion, usually right away, and she'll go on like a 20-minute rant about it, which is fantastic. But every time I asked her a question this week, she is like, save it for the podcast.
Yes.
Every
Save it
single
for the
time.
content. Because you know what? If I'm going to get good fodder out of this, we might as well make it so other people can listen to it and not just us in your car or on the phone.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Hopefully
I have no
you can
idea.
revel in my not
Absolutely.
understanding of anything.
I have no idea if this podcast is going to be as routinely, let's say, angry as this one's going to be. Because the topic that we're going to start out with makes me so viscerally angry and just gets me so worked up that I don't know how this is going to go, genuinely.
What is it?
So we're talking about, to start things off, because what's a shenanigan if not, some tomfoolery, some scammy behavior, okay? Well, apparently the new grift for social media YouTubers, TikTokers, whatever, is peddling cryptocurrency to their fans, pumping it, and then dumping it. Quite literally, for lack of a better word, they are ripping off their fan bases because there's really no other way to look at it. Yes?
They're Wolf of Wall Streeting, these people.
No, because even that's like, okay.
It's like penny stocks, but like
No, but
new
this is
age.
it's not
New
even
age penny stocks.
okay, but even to compare it to that, like is see, this is my point.
This is why it's great.
Okay. See, because this doesn't even count as like I can't even put it in the same category. Because at least there was something.
Then explain it.
Okay.
How is it different?
So a stock is a stock, okay? And some people may be like, but what's a stock? I am not the person. This is not
It's imaginary money. We get it.
It's imaginary money. Money is fake. Screw capitalism. Anyway.
Thank you.
We are not here to talk about finances. I am here to rip into influencers who are quite literally, okay. So people, creators ripping off their fan bases is nothing new. It just really isn't. There's always something or someone who's doing something shady and taking advantage of their following. I'm sure eventually we could have a whole separate episode on creators who groom their young audiences. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about today is this new trend, because there's always some new get-rich-quick thing. And we're not talking about boxing, because that's not it. That's like, oh, I'm different. I can do other things. Forget starting a coffee company. Forget, what was the other thing that they did? Everyone was writing a book at one point. That was another thing.
That's just
no, because quite literally, I feel like we could argue that like fan bases are cults and therefore are like 2 degrees of separation away from a pyramid scheme. But
honestly, yeah, that's another episode. We can get into that later.
Basically, though, but the new grift, which is quite literally a grift, because for a while, I would say the last significant grift that we really saw was the loot boxes, okay, or loot crates, essentially, with gaming channels, where they would be like, oh, if you want to, you're going to bet money and to win these gambling, basically to gamble and win out lotto prizes for video games like CSGO and things like that. There was a bunch of people that got called out for this, but one guy in particular was like apparently a co-owner in one of these things. I gotta find his name somewhere. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. Because the new thing, we need to make money because we're in a pandemic and people are losing their jobs and everyone wants to make money fast. And so the Robinhood market, all of that, it's all being preying upon people who are just desperate to pay their bills. And they're being told that, oh, I can make all this money super easy.
To the moon.
Oh, God. Okay. So with the success, the confusing success of Dogecoin, and I'll admit, I own a little bit of Dogecoin, okay? But I also
How
will
is it
admit that I
confusing? How is it confusing?
because
It's
you know,
Dogecoin.
no, it's not. It's not. Okay, let me explain. It's not confusing. It's
Shocking.
the no, it's not that. It's they're purposely hiding information. And so some people are like, "Hey, I
Okay.
am winning all this. Look at how much money I made from Dogecoin. You
Yeah.
should bet in Dogecoin. Look how much I have." And then people are
Okay.
putting like their life savings
Oh,
into
and
it.
then
And
so
then these
everyone's like
influencers are
putting
very
it in, and then they're
quietly,
like, haha, fuckers.
yeah,
Okay.
the influencers are quietly selling their
Can I
Dogecoin, and
swear?
you can. I don't care. I swear like a sailor. I've definitely already said shit twice.
Okay.
I don't mind this. I'm just
I
expecting this
was
to be
like
greater than a
choosing
little
my
bit.
words, and I'm like, wait.
Oh no, this is gonna have an e next to it on any
Okay, good.
podcasting
Okay.
platform. It's fine. But the thing
Fantastic.
with Dogecoin is that I first got into it as a bit for a video, okay? Because I was like, I'm gonna put $100 into Robinhood, and I'm gonna
As
try
you
and
do.
review 4 TikTok stocks, okay? And one of them was Dogecoin. And last July, they were trying to pump and dump it on TikTok. So I ended up losing like $23 right off the bat. Like I put in 25 bucks, it dropped immediately. I was screwed. Okay. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. And then sure enough, in January, surprise, goes up. I make like, let's say, God, $1,000 right off the bat or something. Like I made
You
good money.
called me and you're like, I don't know what's happening, but
I was so confused because like this was when
yeah.
it was like right when like the GameStop, all of that was happening. But anyway,
Yeah,
because
it was when all the actual stock people got pissed because we broke their game.
yes. We didn't even
Yeah.
break it. We just figured out how to play it better. That was it. We
Yeah.
wasn't even we
And
did the
we did
same
it
thing
with
they
even
did.
more fake money than their fake money.
Exactly. But again, we're not a financial podcast. I'm not qualified for this.
Can you
But
tell?
basically, the point with Dogecoin taking off the way that it did and then getting overhyped and then people being like, oh yeah, hold your Dogecoin. And then all these creators were quietly selling off their Dogecoin while still posting
Mhm.
about holding. So they were cashing out. And
Yeah,
I'm currently
exactly.
down in Dogecoin if anyone cares. I
Yeah.
don't talk about my stocks for the most part, but transparency, I have Dogecoin, I am down. I'm fine with it. Anyway, don't take my stock advice.
I
But
don't.
but because Dogecoin was quite literally a meme coin, it
Yeah.
started teaching people like, oh, meme coins can in fact be profitable, other than just like for the person who starts it. Like people were
Mhm.
genuinely making money off of
Yeah.
Dogecoin. And so that led to all these people being like, oh, new NFTs, new cryptos. NFTs we're not even getting into. That's a whole
Yeah.
other thing.
No.
It's so
No.
oversaturated. All of these creators are like, oh, this is going to grow. And then it tanks immediately because, oh, you can make a percent. Oh, God. I'm getting frustrated already. Like, I'm going to
I
start
love it.
vibrating in my seat. This camera will
This
not
is
pick it
if
up.
anyone wants to know like what our face-to-face interactions are, it's a lot of this. It's a lot of
But
like,
surprisingly, I talk even faster because I have more
yeah.
caffeine in my system usually.
Yeah. That's why we like usually we'll go on a hike or something, so like we're out of breath so we can't even talk.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, people were making NFTs and then people started making their own coins, their own
Mhm.
crypto. Okay. And then crypto tanked. And so people were like, oh, okay, we're going to start making our own like joke coins. So the main one that pissed me off recently, but you know what? Before we get into the main one that pissed me off, we're going to talk about the Logan Paul related one because this one pisses me off to no end. And there's genuine proof that he is committing a crime with this one.
Okay, so I know both of them were terrible.
Sit tight. one of them
Because you tried to tell me at some point that one of them was like, oh no, he grew up a little bit, but like,
okay.
I don't.
Oh, we're talking about the
Explain.
Paul brothers now. Whew, okay. So Logan, the thing about Logan, between Jake and Logan, because I have covered both of their boxing
Yeah.
matches. I've been to events for them. I've covered a
Yeah.
bunch of their shenanigans. Okay. We could do a whole shenanigans episode just on the Paul brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing with Logan is that when he lost his boxing match against KSI, I do think to some degree he was humbled a bit because he realized I am not infallible. So there's a lot of things where you can exactly, you can tell though in a lot of things that there's a lot of growing up that he has done. However,
Mhm.
apparently the Paul brothers, they just can't not do shenanigans because Logan has now decided that he is going to lie and make okay. The way that a lot of these content creators get around things is they say not financial advice, or they say things in a joking manner. Like, I totally believe in this coin because it's a joke and I think it's funny as hell and that's why it's going to the moon. And it's
To the
just
moon.
total bullshit. It's so much bullshit. And they're also like, I'm sorry, Logan, I don't know why he thinks he's a good actor when he can't even say like a 5-second video promoting his fake cryptocurrency. Like, he can't make that believable. No. Okay.
Ew.
Anyway.
What's it called? What's his fake currency called?
Dink Donk, I want to say. It's a South Park reference.
Oh, no, it is not. What?
It's something.
Wait,
hang on, wait.
Let me look it up.
Okay. I'm pulling this up.
It is
Dink
not.
Doink. Dink Doink coin. Dink Doink coin. They have it on Coinbase.
DINKZOINK?
Yes. Do not buy this. Do not buy this. Okay, hey, not financial advice, but also don't buy this, okay? Because
not financial advice. Don't do that.
There is another YouTuber who goes by CoffeeZilla who covers a bunch of like scammers and stuff like that. He is a true oh no, he's a good person. Ignore what I'm saying. CoffeeZilla though covered the Dink Doink BS, okay? And he showed all this evidence talking about how not only is Logan involved in the coin, he created the coin, came up with the idea for the coin, and quite literally drew the symbol for the coin. So not only
what is the symbol for the coin?
Oh, now I gotta pull it up. Gosh darn it, Jordan. You're making me do more work than I was planning to. Let's see.
I mean, I am on my laptop, so I could look it up.
Dink Doink.
Dink Doink.
It is quite literally a little like spring with like googly eyes. So it looks like Clippy.
No, it's a ripoff of Clippy. I was just gonna say.
Yeah, it's a Clippy ripoff. That's all this is.
Why? He's such a jerk.
Listen. Okay.
Why would you do that?
So the thing with Dink Doink is that
Stop!
I have
Stop
to call it
saying
that. I can't call it double D because then I'm going to start having people thinking we have giant tits and we don't.
D-D.
Anyway, Dink Doink, because we're calling it that. What happens is that Logan started being like, guys, I found this new crypto. It's called Dink Doink. It's so funny. It's so dumb. And that's why I think it's going to the moon. And he just kept saying that he thought it was hilarious, which I'm sorry. It's called Dink Doink. Do you have the mentality of a 12-year-old? That's not funny.
It's not even funny. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Dink Doink.
Shut up. Especially when you say it, Dink Doink.
Oh, I'm so going to come to your house next time and knock on the door and be like, Dink Doink.
Just whisper in my ear, Dink Doink.
I'm going to change my ringtone on your phone to Dink Doink.
No.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
So he started saying that like, oh, I think this is funny, so I'm going to keep promoting it. But he says it in like a joking tone. Like, guys, it's going to go to the moon. And I think it's hilarious. And where did you go?
1 second.
You could have said something. I would have paused this.
I did a 1. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I was really invested in making fun of Logan. I was like, my eyes were closed. I was like throwing my head back. I was really invested in this. So I didn't even see you gesture. But the thing with Logan is that they kept saying in a joking tone, okay? And then a couple of his other friends and his co-hosts and stuff on their podcast, the Impulsive Podcast, also started posting.
No, do not. No, we're gonna bleep that.
It's Logan Paul's podcast. People know.
Shoot, they know what it is.
I'm really loud for my apartment. I need to lower my voice. I see myself capping out on the part-time. So what happened is that they all started promoting it. And then apparently the actual like face of the coin, okay, is this one guy. Okay. We're going to pull up his name. Hang on. Dink Doink founder, because I want to make sure I'm calling out the right people. Oh my God. Seriously, you're going to cover this? Anyway, they only are talking about Logan Paul because now that his name is brought up, the other guy is erased, you know? So it's like, you did a bad job of being the face of this fake coin. But basically, Logan presents himself as a third-party investor. And so him promoting it, it's not like insider bullshit, but him quite literally not only being a main investor, but also being the creator of the coin and presenting himself as a third party is BS. Yeah. But this guy who is the face of this coin did a podcast talking about the coin and described how not only did Logan come up with the name for it, but like drew the symbol and all this stuff. So Logan quite literally came up with this idea. But basically, that's the Logan Paul thing, okay?
Yeah.
Is that they're quite literally pumping this coin, and Logan is pretending to be a third party, and there's a lot of evidence, including the actual face of this coin, claiming that Logan is not only involved, he came up with the idea, which is, if true, a crime. Therefore,
A
it is not
crime.
only a shenanigan, it is a crime, okay?
It is a crime.
So that's that one thing, because these coins aren't worth anything. And Logan was also getting involved in all these NFTs. He got involved in the Pokemon card scandals. And by scandals, I mean, let's just create such hype around Pokemon cards that we overinflate the market, over and saturate the market. And then also encourage people. And by encourage people, I mean just by, I shouldn't say encouraging. That's not the right word. I will say, because I truly think that if it weren't for Logan getting so involved in Pokemon cards, the current hype around Pokemon cards would not exist. And then people in Target would not be getting harassed by people trying to buy Pokemon cards.
I had a whole binder of Pokemon cards growing up that my mom
Do you still have them? Because they could be worth money.
My mom threw them
cool.
away.
You threw away money.
I did not throw away
now Target
shit.
no longer sells. Target no longer sells Pokemon cards because people were harassing employees.
Is it like that one thing with the moms and the pottery?
You mean Ray Dunn? That's a whole other thing. Not to that degree.
It's the same thing.
I
but
would say
Pokemon.
It's worse, honestly.
Dang.
Yeah, but I would say it's worse now because it's like at least some people can you can look at some Ray Dunn items and be like, oh yeah, this is money. No, the packets are cards. You don't even know what you're getting unless you're ripping them off and opening them in the store. So Logan is just, clearly getting involved in any get rich quick thing that he can do, despite the fact he already has too much money, arguably. Now we're talking about the main thing that got me so heated the other day. I was getting so worked up. So Jordan, let me tell you about the crypto coin Save the Kids.
No, wait, no, this isn't like a conspiracy Q bullshit thing, is it?
No. Jesus.
Okay, because they have a Save the Kids thing. No, they have this whole Save the Kids.
No, I know they do. We're not talking about Q because I'm not indoctrinating anyone by mistake. We're not doing that. Anyway, Save the Kids was a crypto coin that was promoted by a couple of guys who are in FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan is a gaming cooperative, and I do want to make the distinction that FaZe Clan itself, the gaming organization, were not involved in Save the Kids. It does seem that the moment they heard about the fallout of all of this, they removed one member and suspended a bunch of other members. A bunch of stuff happened, basically. So it does seem to be that these members did, in fact, act separately from FaZe itself. So I do want to make that distinction. But basically, the thing with Save the Kids is that a couple of members of FaZe Clan, they started promoting it like, hey, guys, this isn't financial advice, but here is this coin that I'm, involved in. I'm one of their ambassadors. That was the term they used. They said, we're ambassadors. They kept starting to promote this crypto as if investing in this crypto, it was like some type of act of charity for the kids. This was a charitable action if you invested in this crypto. Buying this crypto would help save the kids. This was something they all totally believed in, and they totally were behind this coin. And this isn't financial advice, but I 100% believe in this coin. That's what they think, that the phrase "not financial advice" covers your whole ass. It does not. If you're promoting all this stuff, it does not. And personally, whole other topic someday, I do think that there is a different set of rules between financial influencers and YouTubers and the like, and people who cover everything else, okay? Other types of influencers. However, certain influencers, let's say Kylie Jenner, okay? She tweeted out, or she posted about how she didn't like the Snapchat app update. Remember this in 2016? And the stock for Snapchat plummeted 30%.
Oh my God, I remember that.
But her doing that is not a problem. But then potentially another, someone who does financial advice, if they talk about a stock, then they are potentially at risk of being investigated by SEC. There's rules for some people and not for others, but the scope of as long as you're...
I didn't know that. Wow.
But my...
What?
But my point is that... my point is that the phrase "not financial advice" has become this blanket catch-all, and it really shouldn't. Because unless
It's
you're
like
specifically
TM.
saying, it's not even that though, because I mean, a trademark can actually become something. Me saying not financial advice and then calling someone up and being like, hey, put all of your money into random product. I don't want to give
But I'm not an expert.
But then before I hang up the call, I say not financial advice. If they played that in court, and then the person who invested all their money on my advice did all of that, and then like lost everything and took me to court, and they played that message of me saying not financial advice, the jury would laugh in my fucking face.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
You gotta
and I don't
try
know
a
if it's
little
the
bit
entitlement
harder.
of these creators. It's not even that. It's just like, you're an idiot. Like, it's just like
That
oh my
too.
God. But basically, what these creators did is that they promoted Save the Kids. It went live. What they kept trying to say was that there was some type of whale block, okay? In
A
the
what?
code. Whale block. Or some type, that's not the right phrase, but it's something that basically prevents whale investors or people who own the majority of stocks or shares of a coin from selling everything the moment it gets high. Like from selling in large quantities.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay, that's what they kept saying. They were when people were asking about the coin before launch and all this stuff, they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we have that block in place to prevent that." Goes live, and then jumps, and then ready? Are you ready for the reenactment? Negative, like just so much money just gone. Okay. And so
sounds about right.
People were like, "How the hell did this happen? What's going on?" Investigations.
Whoa.
People were like, "Hey, what's going on?" The thing about the blockchain is that it's anonymous.
The thing about the blockchain
is that it's anonymous, which is why people in criminal organizations used to use it on the dark net, okay? However, it's not only used for that, and there's other reasons why things being on the blockchain are good and bad. I am not the person to tell you about this. I'm just not. But basically, it's like mostly anonymous, okay? Not really. But again, I'm so not qualified to explain it. I just know you're wrong.
I know what I'm saying.
You can know what you're saying and still be wrong.
Impossible.
My point is, the point is that there were some trends. Oh my God.
I'm sweaty.
There were some trends in... I hear you're sweaty. I think it's fine.
Thank you.
My point is, dear God, my point is
they
that...
to see the real...
I can't even...
Literally, like, you guys, this is usually the point in the conversation where Amanda just hangs up the phone.
Or I just get out of the car.
She's usually just like, okay, I'm hanging up on you now.
I can only tolerate so much Gemini behavior before I just need a break.
Oh, I love it so much.
Anyway, so CoffeeZilla, Some Ordinary Gamer, both YouTubers, started looking into this more and found that there were some trends in certain blockchain accounts or crypto wallets that were selling and or had bought or had sold Save the Kids coin.
That's weird.
That you can track that? It's all public information.
No. Just the whole Save the Kids thing. That's just, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a shenanigan. It's bullshit. It's quite literally...
It's a shenanigan. It's bullshit.
Here we go. Okay, here's me getting hyped again. Okay, and by hyped, I mean I'm gonna like throw a car if I get worked up enough.
Oh, really? So you're gonna throw a car?
Yes, 5'2", $120. I will throw a car, Jordan. That's how fired up this makes me. Okay, I will throw a tank. I will do it. I will take on a small militia on my own. But anyway, the thing about crypto scams that particularly pisses me off. The thing about crypto scams that particularly piss me off is that unlike other scams where people and creators have ripped off their fan bases previously, is there's not even some bullshit piece of merch or some bullshit course or some bullshit something that they are getting, okay? There's no incentive for anything, okay?
Nothing tangible whatsoever.
It's not even that, because the way that crypto works is that in order for something to get to a certain point, someone will have had to have paid that amount for it at some point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, don't. You're a great guest. I swear I won't usually do this. I've just known her since we were 6, so I can cut her off.
No, she's good. This is normal.
For us, yes.
This is 1,000% normal, you guys.
Oh my God. So for the way that crypto works is that you are quite literally laundering money through crypto from your fan bases. So it's quite literally like, I have a fan here. Hey, what's that over there? And then I take money from their pocket, leaving them without the money. So these creators who are doing this crypto scam and doing the buying and selling. Oh yeah, apparently it was discussed that the whale maneuver or the whale feature that was trying to prevent that was taken out right before launch. That was removed.
Shocking. Wow.
So surprised. So, some people all these phase people just kind of sold everything off really quickly.
Who would have thought?
Boom. So the thing here is that but they don't make money without taking it from someone else. And sure, you can say, oh, well, their fans chose to put money into these cryptos. Sure,
yes.
I understand. However, if I were to come up here and say, hey, I believe in this thing. I am endorsing this. I think it's great. We're going to use it for charity. It's going to be such a great thing for the children of this country, the world, whatever.
Yes.
People would put confidence in that because they trust me.
Yeah.
And so I am quite literally I'm quite literally misrepresenting myself and this thing and saying that it's something other than what it is. And then the moment they do put the money, I am bamboozling them and taking the money that they are putting out and then cashing out and making my money back for whatever money I put in. Or there's a chance that some of these people didn't even put money in and they were just gifted these tokens. So they're making money from nothing, which means they're quite literally stealing. And I mean stealing from their fan bases. It's bullshit. Yep. It's manipulative. And it's so shitty. And it makes me so angry because it's like, are you that broke? Are you that? It's not even that. Like, I
greed.
Truly think that there are certain, it's not, I don't even know if it's greed because like it's something a little more insidious than that at this point because it's quite literally, I can't look at it as anything other than stealing at this point. Like you are quite literally screwing over your fan base. So calming down. Yeah. It's just no, it's such bullshit. And then they go and they're like, one of the guys, so FaZe K is one of the guys. He is the one who was removed, or now he's just K because he was quite literally kicked from FaZe over this. The other guys were put on suspension.
We're not even going into that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's fine. But Kay said that he put out a crying video and said everything's going to come to light. I am an impartial third party. There's so much malicious lies going around. I was taken advantage of. And he's trying to say basically that he didn't know better. He was just told about this crypto, thought it was a good idea, and got involved. And he doesn't know better because he didn't know much about crypto. However, like I said, they found his crypto wallet, CoffeeZilla, and Some Ordinary Gamer, okay? So they went through the crypto wallet, and they found that his selling off of his other cryptos, coincided pretty well with some deleted tweets he had, where he quite literally would potentially pump up and then sell off his crypto. And
that's illegal.
Really? I think all of this is some illegal bullshit. Okay, so it's just that
I am all for breaking rules. You know this. That is not good.
Well, there's being gay and doing crimes, and then there is stealing from people who trust you and the audience that you've cultivated. Yeah, I personally just think that that's just abhorrent. And for anyone to say, oh, but they didn't know the control they had over their fan base. Yeah, they did. Because there's tweets like, oh, not financial advice, which means you knew you were trying to cover your ass for something. Yeah. And it's just makes me so uncomfortable. But also,
and they know that they have a platform.
Yeah, exactly. But also, if you try to say, I didn't know any better, I was taken advantage of, that's still on you for not doing research before promoting something to your audience. Exactly. That is on you. that is
Mhm.
absolutely on you. And so, yeah, that's that. Do you want to hear about my feelings on the David Dobrik return?
Of course, I didn't know he was gone.
Oh, I forget how so not online you are. Anyway, so a quick little summary on David Dobrik. So
Wait,
David
was this
Dobrik
about
is
the cat?
the cat?
That's Shane Dawson.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make Jordan a picture book with flashcards of all the drama, scandals, and shenanigans of famous YouTubers, so that whenever she does come back on this podcast, I don't have to do a breakdown every single time.
It's okay, I got it.
Oh God. Okay, so David Dobrik, what he did is basically David was quote unquote canceled. And personally, we can talk about cancel culture if you want after this. But the thing about David is that he was quote unquote canceled and had some backlash because another member or former member of his vlogging team that he is like the head of or whatever was accused of assault by a girl, and David was basically implicated in this because he filmed filmed the night and phrased it as if it was a consensual threesome, and then quietly deleted it later when this girl came forward and contacted Dom and said, hey, I did not, like, you took advantage of me, all this stuff. He's like, okay, the video's down. And like quietly the video was taken down. The issue with David was that he was accused of like, oh, you have to like basically creating an environment or being accused of creating an environment where these girls that were brought into this apartment were encouraged to drink alcohol and more alcohol and more alcohol, and also was accused of creating an environment where these girls could not say no, and that they needed to do something for the vlog to be good, and basically just like pushed into doing things that they were uncomfortable with for him to get a good video, basically, is what the claims were.
Total power dynamic.
Yes. And at the time, David Dobrik, for the most part, was like, I don't want to say universally loved, because that's not the case. Personally, I think being friends with him would be a nightmare, just like based on his vlogs in general. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes. But basically, lots of back and forth, lots of stuff came out. There was also a whole other thing with another one of his former friends accusing him of tricking him into kissing a guy and like all this other stuff, like manipulation on that front as well. But basically, David put out a video apologizing, confronting some of the things, and saying, like, clearly, I'm going to step back from YouTube and I am going to put in a system of checks and balances and have an HR department and just basically have ways so that if there is an issue, these people who are in the vlogs have someone to go to that's not David or someone in the vlog squad. Someone who's not in this boys club, even though there's girls involved in the group or whatever as well. Like someone outside the group that's related, but also a third party that can be like, hey, I need to go to someone, okay? Kind of what David said he was going to do. That was a couple of months ago. David came back, June, and started posting videos again. Took his friends on a trip to Hawaii. Oh, I should also point out that David also nearly killed his friends for a stunt, but that's a whole other thing. Oh, God. Jordan,
I'm sorry,
there's
what?
too much. Hang on. Let me get back to
Okay, good. Keep going. Wait, 1 second. I just looked up David Dobrik because I honestly have no idea who you're talking about.
He was on Vine. He looks like every third dude in our English class in high school.
I know. Ugh. Yeah, go on.
But anyway, David came back, started posting videos again, and there's been no update, no discussion even, or anything about whether or not these checks and balances, these programs that he said he was going to implement, have been put in place.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing about cancel culture, and someone's going to disagree with me on this. That's fine. I don't think it's real unless you genuinely commit a criminal act, or what happens more often than not is that shame does the final step of canceling. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Because canceling does not work unless you truly care. Does that make sense? Like, most people who have been canceled in 2020 are either back or coming back now, and they're acting like nothing happened.
Not even like they were canceled, because the thing is to be canceled, you have to stop fucking talking about them. And that doesn't happen.
No, I wouldn't even say it's that. It's like, no, because that's making them irrelevant. That's what you're thinking of. Canceling and making them irrelevant are two different things. Someone can be canceled and still be discussed.
Oh, well, okay.
It's not ideal, but
yeah,
I mean, technically.
No, I understand that. But like.
See, I think that a lot of the instances of people being like, oh, so-and-so was canceled, most of the time, they either bounced back or they went to jail or went to court. Like there was a criminal charge or a criminal thing that they did, which isn't being canceled. They committed a crime.
That's just being a dick.
Like, oh my God. Personally, I think that if David did put in these places, good, great. But I also think he can't just pretend this stuff didn't happen and that these allegations didn't happen. And that his own negligence, I'll use that word, created an environment and also nearly killed his friend Jeff, which we'll talk about this now so you understand.
Yeah, basically, I was going to say, what?
Basically in 2020, David took a bunch of his friends, I want to say to Utah, and he got a giant crane, like an excavator crane, put it in like 2 feet of water, and him and his friends tied a rope to it, and he was driving it, filming with one hand, driving it with another.
No.
And his friends were riding on it while they swung around. And his friend Corinna went on. And immediately David whipped her around too fast. And she was like, put me down. You take things too far. And then Jeff was like, I'm going to make a good video. So he gets on it. And dude, this uncensored footage made my stomach, I thought I was going to throw up. Like it was so bad. Because the thunk that Jeff makes.
Live?
No, we can't. We genuinely can't.
Okay.
We genuinely can't. Like, it's not, we genuinely can't.
No, but, like, not show it, but, like, my reaction
no, I know.
to it.
Okay. Yeah, no. Too many steps, because then the audio listeners will be like, hey, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, though, this thunk that Jeff makes when he is slammed into the side of this crane and then dangles and then is dropped into the water. Jeff has permanent brain damage, nearly lost his eye, and is still probably going to be having treatment for the rest of his life. Like, and one, how the fuck did he get a crane, David? 2, why was David filming and driving with one hand? Why not get a crane operator? Why not have...
You literally have to have a license, I thought.
Not when you have money, Jordan. People have too much money, and David is one of those people. And
well,
so
that's another topic.
It's a whole other topic. But anyway, it's the negligence. Like, I truly can't pretend that it's anything other than negligence at this point. So that's that. What were we talking about next?
Stupid.
I feel like there was something else we were talking about, and we were like, okay, hang on, let me do this. I mean, I feel like the best example of this is Trisha Paytas, because they have done numerous bad things, have said numerous bad things, and could argue, I would say, has been if we were to measure being canceled in quantity, has been canceled more times than arguably anyone that's actively on social media right now. The thing about Trisha is that they don't care, so it never sticks. You can't cancel someone who does not care. They will continue to make money whether you like them or not, and they know that, okay? So Trisha will just continue, like, that's usually the example I use when people say, oh, cancel culture. It only works if you care. I have anxiety. If I was canceled tomorrow, it would work.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I would not be able to deal with it. I would just be like, I'm gonna sell all my furniture and live in a box.
But if you were one of these ghouls that is willing to scam your followers and
that's different.
Permanent brain damage, or any of these people, like any of these people, you get.
Oh, if I genuinely commit a criminal act,
do that. You obviously don't care, so you're never going to be canceled.
So are you saying I have a soul? I have empathy.
Well,
I'm not a complete dickhead.
Well, yes, I guess.
Oh, are you saying I am addicted? I was like, geez,
only a little bit.
Is there any shenanigans? That's mostly my shenanigans that I wanted to talk about this week. Were there any other shenanigans you wanted to talk about? What's your shenanigan? Because I always have everyone bring in a shenanigan. And by always, I mean this is the first time we're doing this, so you're bringing in a shenanigan.
I was supposed to write
something down. Can literally be
down.
anything.
Wait, I might have written something down when you told me to write something down.
You don't have to write anything down. I said you can share a shenanigan. The shenanigan can quite literally be anything. It could be a seagull stealing a burger from a man. I don't care. It can be any type of shenanigan.
Does it
It
have to
does
be
not have to be
recent?
a relevant shenanigan.
Does it have to be
Does
recent?
not have to be recent.
Okay,
Does
so when
not.
I was really little, this is like a scarring memory. I don't know. Did you say something about birds?
Okay,
Because like this
I'm
is
invested.
seagulls. So this one time I was at the beach with my parents. You must know I'm an only child. So when bad things happen to me, my parents laugh. And so I had a Ziploc baggie full of Cheez-Its and I was eating them, minding my own business on the beach. The birds wanted the Cheez-Its. There were a lot of birds and I was very young, but I wanted the Cheez-Its. And so I kept running with the Cheez-Its in my hands and the birds were chasing me and I was crying and my parents were just laughing at me.
But see, I don't know if this counts as a shenanigan unless they actually got the Cheez-Its from you.
Yeah, I dropped them eventually. They were chasing me. I couldn't run away.
So you're telling me the seagulls used mob mentality and fear tactics to get Cheez-Its from a child?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that counts. I would say that counts. That counts as a shenanigan.
It's not just me.
In the future, I would like to have it set up. That we have a whole little segment where we either read off or listen to someone telling us about their shenanigan, and we weigh in on the shenanigan. Me and my guest in the future.
Yes.
But yes, that's going to be it for
send in your shenanigans
podcast episode. I will have a email set up and linked in the show notes. But absolutely, Jordan doesn't want you to find her on anything, so none of her stuff will be linked.
Sorry,
you will probably see her by proxy. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I don't. I was kidding.
But
welcome to her life, you guys.
Thank you all. Just me forgetting what I'm talking about halfway through speaking. But thank you all for listening to the inaugural episode of the Swell Shenanigans podcast, hosted by me, Swell. And thank you, Jordan, for being my first guest and for tolerating me rambling and getting agitated over people being ripped off.
Because
and
you're the one tolerating me.
Okay. Yeah. But check out all of our socials that'll be listed down below. Not Jordan's, but all of mine. And be sure to tune in for a new episode next week. And if you want more content of me, feel free to check out my previous videos on YouTube, posted every week. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. The end. Oh my God.